you're good.
We're off.
All right, hey everybody. This is Jordan, Crohn's veteran. I'm joined today by my amazing co-host, Renika and CJ. Hi, guys.
Hello.
What is Gucci?
And today we're very honored and grateful to have a very special guest, Keyla. She's you're in fitness, correct? Keyla?
Uh-oh.
Yep,
I'm in fitness, a little bit of everything, kind of.
Yeah. And so, well, I'm very grateful for you to be here. And the very first question that's on my mind.
Okay. Yeah. So, a little bit of fitness, a little bit of everything.
Got you. What were you saying, Jordan? What was your question?
Yeah. Just I'm just curious. About your journey with IBD. And specifically, do you have Crohn's or colitis?
So I've had ulcerative colitis for 9 years now. And first, I was misdiagnosed with just a gluten sensitivity. Mm-hmm. And for a year, I was still pretty sick. And I ended up getting a second opinion in Boston because I live in Massachusetts. And then that's when they diagnosed me with colitis.
Oh, okay. And so what is your day-to-day look like? Kind of living with colitis now.
It's definitely a handful. I have currently a J pouch. I am 2 years with a J pouch, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's just I had my entire large intestine removed. They left a little bit of rectum, and so that the small intestine, they ended up folding it and turning it and then attaching it so I could go to the bathroom the normal way, like everybody else. I did have an ostomy for 2 months or so, and when I had my ostomy, I felt amazing with my ostomy, actually. I only had it for a little bit because they did say the longer you have the ostomy, the harder it is for muscles get atrophy. So I ended up with J pouch pretty fast. And I struggled with dehydration. I do have a central line in right now. So IV fluids 2 to 3 times a week that I do at home. Struggle with weight gaining. Right now I have chronic pouchitis, so there's a lot of inflammation in my J pouch. And so it makes me run to the bathroom a lot. I've tried treating it for about a year and a half, and because it's still pretty bad, we're actually going to be going back to an ostomy within the next month or so. So I'm going to be having more sleep in the next month.
Oh wow! Yeah, well, go ahead,
Renika.
No, I'm saying thank you for sharing that. As a female, I'm a female, of course. But I also have, and when you talk about the J pouch, I didn't have the option to do that. They went straight to this, but after about 4 years of me being non-compliant with treatment, I did not want to do that. But when I finally received my my surgery in December of last year, it does improve your quality of life significantly. And you mentioned in your increased bowel movement to dehydration, you have to have the line put in. All those things could really impact your quality of life. So as a female, and us going through a lot of things, I told Jordan and CJ, without us having IBD, I think it's a lot different than the guys, I think. So what have been some of your struggles? Have you had any struggle with self-image or body image issues as these things have come about?
So I did at first. Then at the same time, I was kind of just whatever about it. people are going to look at you, they're going to judge you, they're going to feel however they are about you, no matter what, even if you have a bad, because technically, like, a lot of us don't look sick, sadly. So people just think that we're like normal and we're okay, and they don't see what we go through. So I kind of just like, screw it. If they don't like me having a bag, then they look at me. I kind of got over that too. I am a mom, so when you have like a delivery, you go through all of that. And I am a cancer survivor. I have uterine cancer, and after that, my kind of like self-image is just like, I don't really care what people think or what they say or how they feel, because I've been through so much. Like, it's my life, and they're not walking through every day.
Right. Thank you for sharing it with us. Definitely.
Thank you very much for that. That's really, really interesting. And so I mean, I think it really is important for everybody to realize out there that, other people's opinions, especially, if they, if there's anything nice to say, just don't say it at all.
Right.
The same situation with Chadwick Boseman. He was fighting colon cancer, like stage 3, stage 4 for months, and he posted a picture on the web or on the internet. Took it down right away, but somebody screenshotted it and they put it up on a blog, and they attacked him. Internet's immature, but at the end of the day, it's your life. You gotta do what makes you happy. Ignore others. Don't pay them any attention, because it's the life you're living. It's not the life they're living. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't go to sleep, with the pain that you're having. They don't get to go to sleep. You know what I mean? With like the insomnia that we go through, like all the symptoms, like the blood and stool, the cramping. They don't live with none of that. We also, with the Chadman Boswick thing, like, we're also at an increased risk for that, like 20%. So now that he's gone, people love to wait until it's too late for them to be like, oh, we feel bad, blah blah blah. No, you should have been supporting that person while they were going through it. Yeah, they might have not been talking through it about it, but you can obviously tell something was wrong.
Right.
And no, it wasn't fucking drugs. Okay.
Right.
Right. And so So thank you very much, Keyla, for sharing that story. And I mean, there's this, it's so, I mean, I think, pretty much everybody with, IBD is, had some kind of, self-image issue, especially with you, fighting cancer. So bravo to you. Actually, just listen to your story. This whole thing's about, Cross Veteran is about, people just, living with these conditions and earning their stripes, because, it's just so difficult. And so I mean, just hearing your story, that definitely applies to you too. You're a warrior. And so, so hats off to, and much admiration to, everything that, you've gone through, and, and I know it's made you a stronger, better person.
Definitely. Definitely. Even when TJ mentioned about, I'm sorry, go ahead, Keyla, go ahead. You can share?
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you. No.
Definitely.
I'm just saying thank you, that's all.
Yeah, you mentioned about I think in the African American community, there are a lot of unfortunate incidents where we are misdiagnosed with having something and not knowing what that something is, due to us not being tested appropriately, and then find out years later we had something else. So we get all this medication prior to, that's not helping us, basically hurting us more. So you mentioned that you were misdiagnosed prior to you being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. Like, what was the experience like for you in the process of waiting?
I definitely felt like I was going crazy, because know that something is wrong with you. Like, your body, that, you're like shitting blood. That's not normal. You go from being healthy one day or eating something one day, and then the next day it's like making you sick. And I had cut out so much stuff in that time frame, because I didn't know what to do. And finally I was just like, I know there's something wrong. And as I live close to a city where I have the option of really good healthcare, and screw it, I'm just going to go make an appointment in Boston and see what they say. And I'm so thankful that my doctor had actually come in his day off to see me. And that's when he had told me that I had ulcerative colitis. And I didn't even know at the time, like, what the heck it was. I didn't know it was going to be like my long friend. I had no idea how serious it was. Like, I just had no clue. I was just like, oh, it's like the flu. I'm going to take like a pill and I'll be fine the next day. And then little by little, I found out it's really serious and you have to take it really serious as well.
Right, definitely.
I feel like we're kind of the same person, but different bodies. Like, I had this similar experience with my doctors before I was trying to get set up with the VA. So I went to a private doctor. They misdiagnosed me, and they said that could have been possibly hemorrhoids or whatever. And they recommended that I get a colonoscopy, but I didn't want to because I was young and dumb. I was like, I ain't getting nothing going on my butt. But I was like, cool, you know what? I'm just gonna do what the doctor tells me. And like, he recommended a whole wheat diet, high fiber diet. And if you know UC or ulcerative colitis, that's a fucking no-no. All right. So it definitely, made it worse. And I paid the price for being dumb and not getting a colonoscopy when I should have.
And
I think go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, yeah. And so in my case, I wasn't misdiagnosed. It's just that, it was just kind of all of a sudden I went from, kind of the same thing you were saying, Kayla, like, life is good, just, chilling, I was in 9th grade or whatever. And so like just minding my own business. And all of a sudden one weekend I went, on Friday, didn't have Crohn's, and on Sunday morning I did. And so like, it was immediate, I like, it was kind of like an emergency room surgery, all that stuff. And just bam, you have Crohn's disease the rest of your life. And I was listening to you, it's funny too, because I didn't believe that I was going to have it the rest of my life either. Like, oh, okay, well, that sucked, type of thing, but the reality is like, okay, well, yeah, it's a lifelong thing that, yeah, definitely got to take seriously.
Definitely. I was the opposite, guys. I got misdiagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And I was told to go home. I can't drink no soda, have no more salads. I was like, oh, what? And no brown rice, of course. But then as time goes on, I was looking like, wait a minute now, something's not right. So I thought I was doing good. Went to a party one night with some friends. Next out, ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis from my Crohn's, for the medication they gave me. So then I found out that I had Crohn's. So all the meds I was given prior to 2011 were like basically was not touching anything I needed to touch. So that misdiagnosis can be a big deal. That's why I'm a big fan of the guys. Listen out there, please. Advocate. I cannot stress that enough. My doctors get tired of saying me. I would email, call to follow up everything, but it's important.
I agree.
So definitely. That's why I'm at with it.
Well, I'm curious, Kayla, about, it looks like that maybe that the voting that might be over, but it looks like that you were entered for the 2020 Hers Magazine fitness model. And so I'm curious about that. Would you mind, explaining that for our audience?
So that was like a huge accident that I had done. It was like I like stumbled upon it. So I don't even know how I stumbled on it. And I just said, screw it. I'm just going to submit. I thought it was just like you submit your info and your photos and then they choose. And then they sent out an email like, okay, you gotta like get your votes in, get people to vote for you. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm screwed now. Like, who the heck is gonna vote for me? So I ended up just like basically biting tongue and getting over my fear, and I just put myself out there and I started posting about it every day. People started voting. I mean, I've kind of shared my story always on my page, so people have an idea of like, the story. And it's just been really awesome to see complete strangers voting for me. I have a couple celebrities because I tagged them in it. They had voted for me.
That's cool.
It's just been really amazing to see the kind of support that I've had through it. And I didn't win, which is fine, because I learned that I'm actually, like, people are listening to what I'm saying and they're actually getting inspired by what I'm saying. So that for me is more than rewarding.
Definitely.
That's what inspired me to hit you up. I actually went on your profile. I saw that you were doing this contest and I was like, yo, that's fucking dope. This chick is fucking badass. So I clicked on it and then I read it and then I voted. I put it on my story. I was like, I tried to tell people to go vote. And then the next day I voted again. Yeah, I was trying to, help you out because your story is really inspirational.
Even though you didn't win that particular, I'm gonna call it a competition, you are still our winner because not only did you allow yourself to be visible to people that may have not never seen you, you also were a product and providing awareness about things that people are not even probably know anything about. So you still are a winner. So good job to you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'm curious too, and so I mean I know that living with IBD and being a cancer survivor and being a fitness model and stuff, just the fitness part of your life, it is must require just a lot of commitment and dedication, and so when you're not feeling well and when you're dealing with symptoms, what are some of the things that you do to kind of stay inspired?
Honestly, my son is probably his inspiration. When I was diagnosed with cancer and even like when I knew that I had surgery, I was always just so afraid, like mom. And I mean, I grew up a child and he has been the biggest inspiration. I think about how he's seeing me in my hospital bed. He's only 10. For a 10-year-old to have to see their mom, a week in the hospital or curled up on the floor because she's in so much pain, or, do a 2-hour infusion, or he's helping me do my shots in my stomach. And he has been so strong, and he has honestly been what helps me and what motivates me every day to get up. And being sick too, having been in that hospital bed, when you want to move, when you don't want to be, just the fact of not having to move your body and you really want to definitely is also my other inspiration. Get up every day. And I work out at least 5 to 6 times a week. And I noticed when I don't work out as much, my joints get more stiff. I have a lot more pain. I mean, it's definitely hard those days. You don't want to wake up and you're like, I don't want to freaking go work out, even if it's like 20 minutes, whatever. Or you adult that day. It's definitely hard, but you just have to count your wins sometimes. Waking up in the morning is that little win counting.
Definitely.
I agree.
That perseverance there.
I was talking to you like yesterday, and you said something about the life book that I found really interesting. Could you tell everybody what that book is about, or the little book you write in the box?
Oh yeah. Yes. So I support like a small business owner called Box of Knots, and I met her through Instagram. And I feel like sometimes your Instagram friends become like your really good friends now lately. But so I met her and I've talked to her, and she's
Oh no, you froze. Frozen Keyla.
I know her.
Your inner child stuff, like workshops with you. I use it as a, and I just like to write my thoughts down, and that's how I count my wins a day. Because sometimes I'll circle my house in circles all day, and then I'll be like, nothing done today. And
Right.
life book, and I'll be like, oh, I made that, or I washed my hair, because with my line I can't normal. So washing my hair sometimes is like a plus, or so tracking all of that and seeing my progress. And I've been doing that now for 8 months. And when I look at how I've been writing in the book, in the beginning of the year, especially like with the pandemic, life stints, I write all of that stuff down, important dates, I put all that in there. It's just my life book, literally my life in the book. It helps me just see everything. I track my symptoms, my bowel movements, like I track everything in there. It's a
almost
good way
therapeutic, right?
Yes, therapeutic, but also really informative too, because you're seeing your growth at the same time.
Cool.
Cool.
What's it called? You said box of knots?
Yes, it's literally box and then knots, like KNOTS. And she's just like a small business owner, and she's all about advocating on like self-care, trauma work, healing, loving yourself, all that kind of stuff.
Right, thank you for that. I'm gonna try to find her.
Right, I'm about to check it out too. So.
Yeah, everybody check out Box of Knots. Definitely. Yeah, I couldn't hear you exactly when you said about the cancer you had. I couldn't really hear what you had said. Do you mind sharing it one more time so I can have an understanding?
Yeah, sure. So I had uterine cancer. I'm coming up on 6 of being uterine cancer free. It's completely rare and spontaneous of cancer. So I had been diagnosed with my UC first, and it was somewhat meds and stuff. And then the cancer had happened, and basically I was in and I started hemorrhaging, and basically I was just bleeding out. I was filling up the car, my blood, and I immediately got sent to the emergency room, and it took 3 doctors to stop the bleeding at the time. And they had just kept telling me, like, we see something in your uterus, we don't know, we're going to biopsy it. And I ended up getting a biopsy done. I was bed rest for like a week. And in time, there was cancer cells that they had found. And I needed to have emergency surgery. So I ended up having surgery on that week, and they had found the cancerous mass that they ended up removing. And then for 6 months after that, having complications. I was 30 years old at the time. And they had said that I could either wait 6 more months and have hysterectomy, or I could wait and see, like, if it's going to spread, happen. And basically I was just, I want it all taken out. Like, I can't sacrifice or, something worse happening for possibility of needing another child. I'm not even sure, So to me, I was 30 years old. After that, my UC kind of like went out of whack, like stress from everything. I think I couldn't get it under control. I lost all my hair on one of the biologics. It wasn't even like the cancer. I'm on a biologic for my UC. And then shortly after that, that's when we're like failed all biologics. Our only option is to have surgery. And then that's when I had the J pouch surgery.
Okay. Wow.
That was a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But you got through and you are steadily getting through.
You're a soldier.
A warrior.
That's what, see, the word warrior, man, it just has so many facets to it. And, you know, hearing your story, I'm looking like, yeah, you just fighting stuff off, like, got this, yep, that's bad, you know. So that's very admirable. And thank you for sharing that with us. That really is a good stuff. Thank you. And good luck on your journey with that as well, definitely. I know personally, I've been sending you my prayers from one warrior to another, definitely.
I got one more question for you. My question is, as a Dominican myself, I know you're a Dominican woman. What challenges did you face culturally with your UC?
That's a tough one. Probably, I would say, because my parents at like an older age, they didn't really know English well. English was their second language. My mom had to learn English on her own. I think the part was not like having the guidance, because I would go to the doctors because my mom would take me, but I like the hell the doctors were saying. The doctors didn't know what they were saying. So it wasn't until I was in medical field that I started learning, like, oh, ulcerative colitis is like a lifelong disease, and like, you know, high blood pressure is bad, and eating fatty foods is gonna raise your cholesterol. So it wasn't just hard that not that she wasn't educated enough, but it's just like the language, you know, if they just don't know enough and understand it. So I would say that. And even now, like, when I had my bag, my mom was just like, your bag's smile, like, it's totally cool, like, it's just a bag. She doesn't still understand, like, she's just like, no, like, can see your poop, and I'm like, no, they can't, like, anything's there. So there's like a lot that she still doesn't understand, but she's definitely opening up to it. Like, we do the take walk. She's done a couple with me, and she's like in her 7th. So I'm actually pretty impressed that she opened up to it. Like, she buys me flowers. They're now purple flowers. Always, she does like her own little things now. So she understands it in her own way, which I'm just thankful for that she tries.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the answer.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here, Keyla. We greatly appreciate your time, you know, this morning and today, you know, for sharing your story. It's you know, I'm looking forward to sharing it with our audience. It's very inspirational. You know, do you have any, you know, any kind of parting? Well, actually, of course, you know where to find you. You know, if people want to reach out to you and talk to you, but also, you know, any kind of parting thoughts, you know, for the audience.
They can go to my IG. It's KCup27. Parting things, just anyone who's struggling with anything, just keep fighting. You know, being light. Don't try to find light. Be the light in whatever, you know. And struggling with whether it be IBD or anything, just keep your head up, and you're not alone.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and yeah, we really appreciate it, and of course, everybody listening, you know, you can support Crohn's Veteran at www.crohnsveteran.com. You can check us out on Anchor, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can check out our Twitch channel, Chill Ghost, and at Crohn's Veteran. You know, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now, live. So you can also check out our awesome YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate Keyla's time today, and and thanks for listening.